Today I'm going to talk about life as a crypto YouTuber, or in other words, why is there so much bad crypto content within YouTube? Why do you, whenever you see a video on YouTube, why do those assets tend to go down after release of the video? Why are the incentives not aligned? And the most straightforward thing, where I'm probably not telling you news, is that the incentive of YouTubers are very often not aligned with their audience. As in, people get paid money to talk about stuff. And on an abstract level, a lot of people know this, right? They know, okay, this YouTuber now talks about this kind of small project. They probably get some money from the team, but maybe they still like the project anyway, so they took the money, and that's kind of fine, right? They like a product, why not talk about it and take some money from the team? But I think that's very often not what's going on. And the degree to how much money people get when they promote something, and the frequency of how often you get approached is super flabbergasting. It's super impressive. I have a relatively small YouTube channel, right? And still, even though I don't make my contact details that open, right? There's no email address on my YouTube about page or anything like this. You have to jump through a few hoops. You have to go to my public Telegram group and then find the admin and then message the admin. Even though I've got all of that, I still get like minimum 3 to 4 promotion approaches every single day. And the quality of these projects is also varying. There's a variety in this. So the kinds of projects actually that approach you most are also the crappiest ones, which is interesting, right? So very often I get approached by a random fake mining project or a fake investment project that's usually built on the Tron network, where also the website looks totally crappy, and where I know that whoever deposits there is going to instantly lose their money. So it's straight out scams. It's kind of like similar to what people that directly message you in Instagram or whatever it is in Facebook. It's kind of like those projects where you can directly say bye-bye to your assets once you send anything over. So those are the projects that actually want to promote their scams via YouTubers most, or at least that's the project that approach most. And the reason is probably because most YouTubers are wise enough not to take those deals. Right? Very small YouTubers might not, but most people, they know when they would accept something like this, the reputation would directly go downhill, because whoever in their audience starts to get into this, they lose it instantly. So that's the obvious stuff. But then there's also other people that approach you of smaller centralized exchanges that look somewhat legitimate, and even larger centralized exchanges, where I still don't think the incentive of the audience is really aligned with the YouTuber. The YouTuber obviously gets money, be it via affiliates or usually directly getting paid for the video. And that money comes from somewhere. And where does it come from? It comes from the audience. And that's usually because of the strong push of those centralized exchanges within their platform for very risky products that have a lot of hidden fees in it. So they push betting on 3x falling Bitcoin prices, and they push these very highly engineered derivative products where you don't really know the end return that you get, where they might also have an incentive to move the market in a certain way to knock you out of the product. So in the end, even though you think you made the mistake by betting on the wrong direction, it's not really you who made the mistake when you lose money in these exchanges, when you bet on a small altcoin falling, because when the centralized exchange knows, okay, you get liquidated when the price moves up by 10%, just might push up the price by 10% for a brief period of time, get you liquidated, and let the price collapse afterwards again. So you've got this direct misalignment of your business partner, the centralized exchange, and you as a customer. And when you promote this as a YouTuber, I'm not going to now name the centralized exchanges that I think are most problematic here. But when you as a YouTuber promote this, I think that's also a pretty bad idea. And the reason why I think this is especially a bad idea is because within crypto, it's still a very inefficient market, right? You can still make money by just exploiting inefficiencies. You don't have to make money by taking it away from your audience. So if you find that there is something within the crypto world where you can beat the system, you can just share this with your audience. And your audience can make money and you can make money. And at least within your little microcosmos, you're all winning. That maybe the overall crypto market is a zero-sum game is another story, right? But you don't have to be misaligned in incentives with your audience. And that's a problem, though, that in the short term, if you're just in it for the few months, for a few years, that you might act against your audience. So these are kind of like the straightforward ways that are problematic, why you might see all these pushes. But then there's something even a bit more hidden. And I think I fell for this as well. And it's pretty hard actually to escape this. And that's the YouTube algorithm to a certain degree. When you make, so I personally, right, I have most of my crypto money in straight out Bitcoin. I do make my DeFi plays. I do have a few altcoins, especially during bull runs, but I'm mainly in Bitcoin. But I don't do mainly Bitcoin videos. I do make a lot of altcoin videos as well. And the reason for this is at least partially the YouTube algorithm. Because the keyword Bitcoin is simply so competitive. When I make a video on Bitcoin, I get maybe maximum, I don't know, 5 to 10 subscribers from that video, simply because so many channels always publish Bitcoin videos. And so the competition is so high that when you are not a multi-million subscriber channel, it's very unlikely that you will get recommended to a broad audience. There's just so much high quality, high engaging, long view duration content out there on YouTube on the word Bitcoin that you can't really grow your channel with this. Thus, you have to pick your niche, and you have to pick a niche that's being searched for, or that's at least in the interest category of somebody where right, there's not yet so much content. And so you go to altcoins, and when I then make a video on an altcoin, and I pick the right altcoin, I can get 100 subscribers with a single video. And so what do I mean even by the right Bitcoin? And that's again a misalignment. If I would be talking about an altcoin that nobody is talking about currently, that's very dormant, no trading volume, but relatively low in price because people have forgotten about it, but maybe where I see now a lot of technical development, and I see that the team might be releasing something that could then regenerate excitement, right? That would be the perfect investment opportunity and putting your money in there, right? If I would make a video on this, the exposure YouTube would give me is small. It's very small because nobody is yet searching for that altcoin. And when you do it the other way around, when you look at what already went up, people will talk about it, right? Like, why did it go up by 200%? People will search for it. Now, when you do a video on that, then suddenly you get all the subscribers. And so you're in this balancing act. So this video, for example, is not going to be a subscriber generating video. You're in this balancing act as in you want to get exposure, you want to build your audience. So you want to be talking about the things that that's currently the flavor of the day. But on the other hand, you want to provide value. And so you always have to jump back and forth, at least that's what I do, between the things that I think might be coming up, or even do a Bitcoin video, even though it doesn't bring that many views or that many subscribers. It doesn't expand the channel that much. So I do this sometimes, but I then, if I don't just want to talk to 100 people, if I want to talk to more people, I then also still have to talk about why Shiba Inu went up 100% yesterday. So that's why you get all this exposure. And then, of course, when the price already went up by 100 or 200%, and it's a crappy project, and because of that, there's so many eyes on this. That's why you then get even more eyes on this and even more exposure to this, and why then the price also afterwards collapses, because you're basically too late to the party. You get pushed the content on YouTube that's already outdated, so to speak. And I don't really have a solution to this, except sometimes doing content that's for the existing audience, basically, like this one. And sometimes making content that's for new people that just come in by search. But yeah, that's kind of like a balance I still have to make. I still have to figure out how to also do this new search content in a way that new people that come in don't get misguided and then suddenly bet on things that just are on temporary highs of attention, right? There's this correlation in crypto, very much so, much more in crypto than in any other asset class, of attention to price. Right? So high attention means a high price, attention fades, price goes down. So attention is fluctuating, it moves from asset to asset. It goes, there's only one topic that's the main topic of the day, and so you have to be in the asset before the attention is there, but you can't afford to make a video on an asset where there's no attention yet. So that's why I try to somehow, I didn't want to make this video to plug now, to do this plug, but I just want to say my thing around this. That's why I have this premium membership thing, to kind of talk about things that are not necessarily pushed by YouTube, where I talk about topics that are not necessarily pushed by YouTube, that are for existing members that appreciate that kind of content, because then the incentives are more aligned, right? I get paid independent of what kind of content I create. So that's basically it. Why YouTube is a bit of a problematic platform for investment advice, for crypto, for finding the right crypto content, for finding something that outperforms. But where I do think where it's useful is if you're just looking for information to then start your own research, because that's the fundamental idea, right? If you want to outperform in any way, you have to have an edge in the market, right? And that's in any market, right? If you have a business of some sort and you're selling a certain product, you need to know more about the product than the regular guy. If you want to be better at flipping houses, then you need to know the local house market better, right? You need to know what is actually cheap, what is expensive. And the same is true for crypto, right? If you want to make more return than just buying and holding, you have to have more knowledge, more skills than the average. And that only happens if you do your own research. So the whole idea of do your own research is not just like to cover yourself as a YouTuber. It's actually really because, at least I personally, I mean this, right? You have to be more informed, and you have to know more than what most people know. And you have to look into the data in more detail than others. Or you have to know people that are that influence the price, or whatever it is, right? You need to have an edge. You need to know better what you're doing than what most people do. And that only happens if you do your own research, if you do the skills, if you do the data digging, etc. So yeah, that was a bit of a tangent here, but these videos, they tend to be just random rambling. Hope still that it's useful. Just a little bit of an insight of how it is to do crypto YouTube, and how you're always torn between these different incentives. And sometimes that's direct, as in people just take money and then it's easier to spot. Most people don't fall for this. But even for these indirect things, where the YouTube algorithm gives you attention where it should not be deserved to a degree, it's also just a different kinds of misincentive, right? So yeah, just wanted to share this. There's more videos like this, right? Directly after this, I will link this here somewhere. So feel free to watch that as well. Thanks again for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.